Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com. Welcome to my online class, and today we're going to be exploring do-it-yourself handmade photo cards, because photo cards, everybody loves them. Holidays are coming. I know everybody's getting ready to get their family photos together, and so I was like, we need to come up with some awesome ideas for some photo cards, and I hope that you love the ones that I've come up with. I have I have a whole slew of different ideas for photo cards, all levels of crafting, all different styles. Some are interactive, some are classic, some are easy, some are simple. I think that you're really going to enjoy them. So I will show all of my ideas at the end of this class. I'm going to make a set. I have 8 sets of 3 different cards. And so I'm going to create one of the sets today. This is the set I'm going to create today. And I actually use the Stampin' Up! Sweetest Christmas suite to make this set of cards. And so I've got a classic card here. And then this is a Gatefold card with the surprise photo in the middle. And then this one's my favorite. You guys can let me know which ones are your favorites, because I'm sure everybody's got different opinions. This one is a pull-up Christmas card. So we've got a little window in the front that shows the picture, and then when you pull the picture up, you can see the greeting inside. So fun. So I'm going to show you how to make these 3, and then I'm going to show the entire series, and I'll roll out on my stampwithtami.com blog over the next week instructions for the rest of the series. So welcome aboard. I see you guys are popping on board. I am broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And it's great to see you guys that are popping in now. You may be watching live, or you may be watching the replay later on. Either way, I am glad you are here. I'm glad you found me. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, boom, so you don't miss out on any of my future classes. And also, sorry, I was going to show you the prize patrol, but it looks like I can't find it. So we're going to look at some other stuff. So I do have free PDFs on my blog for you here, and you can download those by going to stampwithtami.com. I have a link in the video's description, and let's see if I can get that that prize patrol up there for you. There we go. Now, if you leave a comment on the video on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I will enter you into this drawing for the Christmas season bundle. That is the stamp set and the matching dies. And you'll be automatically entered. And if you share this video onto social media, like Facebook or Pinterest, type the word shared into the comments, I'll enter you a second time. Because I love it when you share the love. And definitely, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being a part of my Stamp with Tami community, for your support and for your watching. So I know a bunch of you are just getting on now. This is what we're going to be making today, and I have 21 more photo cards to share with you guys. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is that all of the cards that I made, and I'm going to just disclaimers here, these are not my family. I just wanted to show different examples here. They're all made with wallet-sized photos. So these are 2.5 by 3.5, which is a pretty standard for most printing companies. I got these at Walmart. Some of them do 2 by 3, and of course you can improvise and do others, but just an FYI, that's the size I used on all of the photo cards, and that they're easy, they're inexpensive to print out, so you can actually do a whole bunch of cards with the, like inexpensively, if you were doing a run and doing a whole bunch of the same thing. So I am going to show you really quickly the suite. I know I just showed that really quickly. I'm going to show it again. This is the Sweetest Christmas suite. And you'll find that in the Stamping Up July to December mini catalog. And this is the suite in the catalog. It's on pages 8 and 9 and 10. It's a mega suite, actually 10 and 11. It's a mega suite. So there's 2 bundles in here. I recently just did a special offer kit on it. There's also some more ideas in the catalog for it. It's amazing. This is just such a really cool one. So this is what I'm going to use on the cards for today's class. And all the other cards are done with different supplies, and you can obviously improvise and change things up and use the supplies that you have on hand to create yours. But this, we've got some glimmer paper we'll be using today. Can you see? Oh, I love this stuff. So fun, right? So fun for the holidays. And then we've got little sequins, we've got ribbon, we've got designer paper, and I love the designer paper. The stripes just go really nicely with the cards. And as I mentioned, it's a mega sweet. So there's 2 bundles. There's 2 stamp sets and 2 matching die sets that go with this. I mean, it's incredible. All the variety and the different things that are in here. So super fun. And I'm going to get started with the basic card. And again, you can use whatever supplies you have on hand. And if you love these and you want to order some of these supplies, you can do that on stampwithtami.com. I have ordering links in the video's description as well. And I always love that as well. It helps me stay in business. So I've got an 8.5 by 11 sheet of basic white cardstock, and actually thick basic white cardstock. You could use regular or thick here, but I think for the card base, thick is always nice. And I'm just going to cut this in half for my card base, so every sheet will make 2 cards. And this is just a very standard card size. And then I'm going to score it in half at 4 1/4. And that's going to give us our standard card base. I sell envelopes that fit this. They're called a medium Stampin' Up! Envelope. And they fit this not perfectly. So we've got our base for our basic card. We're going to go basic right now. And then we're going to step it up and up and up. Okay, so next up, we're going to, I'm going to cut some pieces out of here. Now you can cut them with the paper trimmer. And I have on the PDF here, I have measurements for everything, but I'm going to step it up just a little bit and use the stitched rectangle dies. Let me show you those. They're it's a pretty basic, I call this a staple, meaning I use it on a lot of things. It cuts rectangles and it gives you a little stitched edge, so it gives you just a little special something without really having to do a lot of work. I'm going to pull in here my die cut machine. This is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I am going to cut my my picture down. So it was 2.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to take the, let's see. I'm going to take one of the die sets and one of the dies here. Let me make sure I'm going to see if I use the right one. I have it listed on the down one side. So this would be the 3rd smallest stitched rectangle right here. So on the PDF, I have both the what size, which of the stitched rectangle dies I'm using, as well as the measurements in case you don't have this die set, so you can just cut your things, because you don't have to use the die set. I just think it adds a little special something. So let's go ahead and cut that photo down. We're going to line that up right around our family there and cut them out. And bada bing, bada boom. And I should also note, I'm showing holiday cards, but you can make photo cards for any occasion. They don't have to be holidays. You know, you can make them for invitations, party invitations, and just about any occasion. So I've cut our little family, and we see how we've got the little stitched rectangle around there. I love that. I'm going to move this out of the way. So I'm going to cut down the rest of the pieces by the measurements, and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. Now, you can stamp regularly with black ink. You could stamp with any of the colored inks. I'm going to do some embossing. Holiday cards and embossing, I feel like they go together. So let's pull up my embossing stuff here. I've got Versamark ink, which is a watermarking ink pad, and I've got white embossing powder. So white classic water-based ink wouldn't show up on a colored cardstock. Excuse me, but the Versamark, it's clear, but it stays tacky, and when I pour this white embossed powder over it, it's just gonna pop. So I'm taking these 2 stamps. It's a banner and a word, and out of the Christmas banners stamp set. And the reason why is because you can change the words here. So you can do season's greetings, you know, Merry Christmas. You can do Christmas wishes, 'tis the season, just for you. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Mix and match your words inside the banners, and then the die set matches the banners. So you can cut them out. So and you can use other words from other stamps. We have some that have small words that fit inside this banner too. So you can even go outside of the box, so to speak, and change that up for other things. So you can kind of see the watermark on there from the Versamark. And then I'm going to stamp the words right in the middle. It's hard for me to see with the glare, but we're just gonna hope for the best here. And then I'm gonna pour that white emboss powder right over the top. Bing, bing. Aw, thanks, Julie. I love having you here. I'm glad that you're watching. It's good to see everybody. I hope you guys are having a nice day. As I film this, it is a Thursday afternoon, and it's a little bit later than my normal time. It's also Thursdays. Actually, the scoop is going to be moving to Thursdays. Normally, I don't do Thursdays, but we are going to be starting the Stampin' Scoop starting next week on Thursdays. It used to be Tuesdays. So this will be but it will be noon Eastern Standard Time normally for the live stream. Of course, for the replay, you can watch anytime. But it is nice to be out in a different time. I catch some different people sometimes that way. So I am taking the heat tool here and just heating up the emboss powder. And that's going to melt it. It's kind of hard to see. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video. Sometimes it's hard for me to hold the piece of paper and heat emboss at the same time. It's so that you can see it, you know, I have to hold it at a weird angle. There we go. I mean, if I was embossing by myself, I would be doing it at a different angle, but I just want you guys to be able to see it. So you can see how it just stands right out there. Very cool. And then I'm going to take this, a coordinating die that matches that. And that's from the Christmas banner stamp set. So the banner stamp sets matches the dies. I showed those earlier. So then there's a die. I'm going to run that through that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then, I don't know. I had one. I lost it. I guess we're going to actually cut that one because I don't know where my sample went. I was going to do some magic and show you one already cut, but I guess I don't have one anymore. So we're going to cut it. No magic on this one. We're going old school. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the Stampin' and Cut and Emboss machine and cut it out for you. So we're moving the Stampin' Scoop to Thursdays due to our schedules. I'm sorry. Some people are going to be really happy about that. Unfortunately, I know it doesn't work for everybody, but unfortunately Tuesdays wasn't working for us to be able to get together. That's why it took us so long to get back on board, because after the summer we couldn't coordinate Tuesdays and it was just getting too hard. So we want to be able to come back on with the Stampin' Scoop show, so we have to move it. Sorry if that was inconvenient for you. But hopefully you can catch the replay. The replays are always good, and you can still enter to win the prize patrols with the replay. So with the rest of this, I've pre-cut the pieces here, and I did use the dies from the stitched rectangle dies on them. Oh, look at that. Of course, as soon as I cut it, I found the one that I was magically going to appear. You knew that was going to happen, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take some seal adhesive, which is double-sided tape runner, and it is acid free, so it's not gonna ruin your photos. They'll be nice, archival safe. I think that's the word, archival safe. Okay, so again, all these measurements are on that free PDF, and you can download it on my blog. And I have a handy dandy link. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, there is a handy dandy link in this video's description that will take you right there. Sometimes I get people that are like, oh, I went to your blog and I didn't see it. Normally, whatever's new will be on the home page. But if you just go to the video's description, boom. I call that my easy button. I hope that makes it easy for you guys. I really do want you to be able to find information quickly and easily. So I'm just taking the seal adhesive and I'm just attaching these layers right onto the card. I'm keeping this one flat. Now it's up to you. I'm going to do some puffy. I'm going to do some flat, and it's up to you whether you want to do puffy or not. I know that if you're making photo cards, you're probably going to want to mail them, and puffy sometimes means that you have to have them hand canceled, and it might cost a few more cents to do that. So if you don't want to do that, then you may not want to make them as puffy. This particular one, the only thing I'm puffing up here is a banner, so it's probably not going to cost any extra to mail it. So that's card number one. Simple, classic, beautiful design. And this here is just, you know, the paper you can swap out for other papers. That Swedish Christmas, it sounds like I'm saying Swedish Christmas, right? I'm not. Sweetest. Sweetest. Mwah, sweet. It has some great traditional Christmas papers in it. So the next one, told you we're stepping it up a little bit. So the next one is a gatefold. There. And this one, again, really easy to make. Now, I've taken an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and I've cut that in half the long way. So the other one I cut across portrait. This one I'm cutting landscape. So we have an 11 by 4.25. And again, there is instructions for this as well. I want you to be able to recreate these and have some fun with them. So I'm going to score this at 2 1/8 on either side. I feel like that's not right. Right? So that's, my math is off on that one. Let me see if I have it right on the PDF. What's 5.5? Half of that is 2 3/4, not 2 1/4, right? Not 2 1/8. Okay, let me look at my notes. Yeah, my notes are wrong. It says 2 1/8, but it should be 2 3/4. So let me make a note to update that for you guys. Sorry, if you downloaded them already, just make a note on that. It's 2 3/4 on either end. So double check that and make sure I'm correct. Yeah, that one's better. I'm gonna have an extra score line on mine, but that's okay. You guys will get the point. Right, so 2 3/4 on either end. Thank you, Nancy, for your measurements. I appreciate that. I can still, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic there. We can still roll with it. Okay, so that's going to give us our gatefold. So that's just a super easy, fun fold, right? So it's easy to make. One thing when we're making holiday cards, right, we make a lot of them. So we want to be able to make sure that we can recreate them quick and easy. Okay, so next up, let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp, what I stamped on here was the words in one of the other banners from the set. And I took a real red ink pad and I went ahead and stamped them on a piece of scrap paper. And now I really do have some magic for you. Since you've seen me die cut, you know, you kind of get the gist of that, right? And so I stamped the season's greetings, but you can swap those out for Merry Christmas or some of the other things in there, Christmas wishes, happy, you know, happy, whatever. There's a bunch of different words that you can use in here. So I've cut that one out already. I've pre-cut some other pieces for us. And the other thing I did, and I didn't show this side of the paper, and you'll see it on some of the designs. Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Okay, I guess I don't have one to show you. What do I do over here? Some of the, sorry for my reaching. Okay, so the designer series paper has candy canes and the dies, like we have a candy cane, 2 candy cane stamps, and the dies match the stamps and they match this paper with the larger candy canes. So I cut one of those out too because I thought, well, that'll make a fun little accent. So then all it is just cutting, but I did something really fun with the banner on the front and I wanted to show you how I did it. So this I cut from the basic shapes dies, the circle there, but you could also cut a square there if you didn't have the circle dies. So I went ahead and I took, it's the banner die that matches that stamp, and I cut it out 2 more times from some glimmer paper. And the reason why I did that is because if I take one, I can make a little shadow. See it? I can make it just like a little shadow on the background, but if I take 2 and I line them up just so, I can get a border, a little reveal around the entire piece. So I'm going to take some seal adhesive and bing, boom, we'll attach one. And there was one little thing that I did when I did that. When I put the second one down, I wanted to cut or marry, there's a couple of tails there, right there and right there. You either want to overlap them or trim them so that they, oops, sorry, I've got it down. You probably can't see it. See that extra little tail right there? So you can either trim it off or marry it so it kind of blends in. I think I'm going to trim it off. I'm going to trim mine off. But however you guys like to do that, you can do yours your way. I did it my way. Let's see how that goes. And we can get that little thing off there too. Okay. So I've got this. If you have any, you know, like those tails hang out, I'm just trimming off anything that hangs out that, you know, you may be fine with it. You may like sit there and go, I don't understand why you're cutting it. I kind of like it that way. But again, your way. Your card, your way. All right, so there we go. I've got it on there. And now we've got a little reveal around the entire thing, around our entire piece there. Just kind of a fun. I thought it was just an extra fun. Like you can just do one if you wanted to as well. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble the card pieces. So since I pre-cut everything, and we've got our little photo out here of we have a new family for this card. And I went ahead and pre-attached these to some glimmer paper. So there's white. It's hard to see on the video, but they're sparkly. Trust me, it's sparkly. And then this one I did sparkly on the original, but then I ran out of sparklies and I was waiting for my shipment to come in, and it did come in right before the video, but I'd already cut this, so I'm rolling with it. It's shimmer white instead of glimmer white. And bada bing, bada boom. Let's go ahead and take some Stampin' Dimensionals and pop that up. I'm making this one puffier. Again, up to you if you want to do them flat. Totally, this is a beautiful thing. No, I don't know these families, so they're stock photos. I made so many, and I didn't have any awesome pictures of my kids this year, which I hope to soon, and I'll post them when I do my own family's cards. But I really wanted to get the ideas out because I know you guys are starting to think about them, so I used stock families this time. So we got a bunch of fun little families here on our cards that I'm going to share with you guys. We can make up all kinds of little stories about them if we want to, right? They're stock photos, so we can, we can say that this little happy little family, they took a photo at a wedding. They went to a fun wedding on Martha's Vineyard, and they took this little photo for their Christmas cards. Okay, so it's really just to show you the idea. That was my intent, is to show you some ideas to get your juices flowing. So I'm just putting some seal adhesive on that. Again, measurements on that PDF for you. And there. And then I took this little guy, this little candy cane that I cut out of the designer series paper, and I just kind of tucked it underneath there. I just added just a little pop there. We got a little special something with our little family. Now, the last piece here that I'm going to do, and I am going to pop this up again. Don't have to if you want to keep it flat for mailing purposes, but I'm going to puff mine. Puffy it is. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals for one side, only on one side, because it's a gatefold. If I put them on both sides, it's not going to open, right? So, see this? That was bugging me. I was like, I don't like it. It's not shutting properly. I either want a belly band or what? Velcro. Yep. So I got some clear Velcro dots here. Gonna take one of those and stick it on the other side of the back here. So it's got both pieces of Velcro there. So when I close it, press down. Boom. Okay, we've got our beautiful little family there. It stands up, so when you send it out, it's going to stand up. People are going to be able to stand their card up, show off your little family, and then they've got the gatefold, the doors that close there, and it stays closed. Stays closed. I thought that was to me, that was important. Okay. And that is our gatefold card. And then, of course, I added, you know me, nothing's done until you've got some bling. So on this one, I was going to add the sequins to it that were part of the Sweet Christmas Suite, but this was kind of like red on red. I liked the kind of, it was like mostly real red there. So I took some red rhinestones instead and just gave it a little sparkle there with the red rhinestones. And this, my original, you can see inside here has the glimmer paper. Can you guys see that okay in the video? Wasn't sure if that came out. Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, you definitely need the bling, right? Okay, so for the last card in this set, now don't forget, I've got 21 more to share with you, but I wanted to show how to make these because I think from these basic cards that I'm making today, you'll be able to make any of the other cards that I share in my series of photo cards. I will have instructions for all of them posting on my blog over the next couple of weeks. But this one, I think this one's my favorite. All right, so this is a pull-out. It's a window card with a little pull-out, and it's super easy to make, right? How fun is that? So you've got your little window card, plus they can pull this out and save it, or they can keep it together with the card, and there's a little greeting when they pull it out. I love it. I love all of it. So you are going to, for the card base, I used Real Red again, and the Sweetest Christmas striped designer series paper in the back here. But again, you can use whatever you have on hand. This is half of a Real Red piece of cardstock. And then I'm just going to score it in half, or in this particular case, I'm going to use a bone folder and just burnish it in half. Just like you would a normal, if you were doing a basic card like we did with our first card, right? So that would be a normal card base. You could open it landscape, you can open it portrait, but in our particular case, when we're done, it's not going to open at all because it's going to be a pull-up card. So the surprise is going to be in the pull-up. So for this, I went ahead and since we did some embossing on card number 1, I pre-embossed Merry and Bright and on Garden Green and cut that out. So there is some magic. There is some magic already done for us. So I pre-cut the designer series paper here for us. And I'm going to go ahead and take some seal adhesive and we'll attach that to our card base. Now here's the fun thing. Most of the cards, right, they either open, if a traditional card would open this way or this way. In our case, the opening is going to be on the top for this card. Not that it matters because the designer series paper can go anyway. All right, so now this is where these stitched rectangle dies are seriously going to come in handy. You can use a paper cutter to trim out your window and to cut your rectangles. But if you have these stitched rectangle dies, life is so much easier. And I'll show you why. Because we can cut that window right out. I'm actually referring to my own notes here. Yes, you can again download those on my blog. As well as when I release the rest of the series on the blog, I'll have instructions for all of those too. But I also wrote down what to use as far as the dies, and then this one, it's the 4th smallest stitched rectangle. So I'm going from the smallest 1, 2, 3, and sorry, they got all messed up there, but that's 4. And we'll take that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine right back. And we'll go ahead and line that up right in the middle. And then just cut that out. Okay, so now that's just gonna pop right out. And you know what? You're gonna have this little piece here that you can use on another card. That'll make another accent on another card. And then I'm gonna take the 3rd and 5th smallest. So the one that's smaller, a size smaller, and the one that's a size bigger than this. And I'm gonna take those in a piece of Real Red cardstock, and I'm gonna run them through, and through the magic of video, we have some more magic. Where's my magic wand? Right here. We have a frame, and that frame is going to go right on top like that. So we'll go ahead and attach that, and then we are almost ready to assemble the card. There's one, you know what? There's one more die cut piece that I pre-cut some more magic for us. So we've got we've got our little window all ready for us. And the candy cane dies. There is this is like a tag punch here. In fact, I'm going to show you the catalog really quickly so you can see what they used it for other samples. Because I'm going to use it for something completely different. Okay, so they used it right here. I'm going to hold that up. See right there for a little tag on the front, and they ran a ribbon through it. And then there was another one. Here we go. They put candy canes through it. So super cute little idea for this little tag. But what I did was I ran the tag through the die cut machine, and you know, I'm just going to use scissors. Normally I would want a nice clean cut, so normally I would use a paper trimmer, but I'm going to cut that in half. And then I'm going to take it and we're going to stick one on either side of our pull-out insert. Both are the same size. I have two basic whites. One's going to go inside and one's going to be our insert. So I'm going to stick those right on the middle. So these will be our pull tabs, or this will be our pull tab. It's one, right? So it's attached together. That's going to be our pull tab for the inside. For the photo card. So before we attach, there's one more thing we want to do. So I had two of the same size whites. So this is going to end up on the inside, attached to the inside. This is the second one. But before I attach it, I want to stamp it. And you know what? You can attach and stamp if you want to do it that way. But I always like to stamp before I attach in case I mess it up. I'm just like that. So I'm going to take the words and I'm going to stamp it right through the window. And of course it came out beautiful. So I don't know what I was worried about. And then I'm going to attach it. So that's going to go on the inside. And so when our card's closed, woo, yep, you can also use circles to do this too, Jean. That's also a great idea. All right, so now we are going to attach our photo, and we do want to make sure that, again, our photo also lines up with the inside of the card. So I'm going to place that in there. I might pull it up just a hair there. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. Okay, so now I'm going to line this up. Can you see what I'm doing here? Lining it up with the front of the card. Careful not to move that insert that I have placed inside for placement, and I have adhesive on the back of the photo. I'm just holding it up there. It's not really attached to the front here. Okay, so the reason why it's not straight is it cheapers. You think I could do a better job with straight? Okay, and the reason why I did that is because I want it to line up with the window on the front of the card. And then let's take some of that pretty, so this, the Sweetest Christmas suite comes with not just one, but two ribbons, a real red and a garden green. So let's go ahead and tie some of that through the tab that we just made on the top here for our pull. So this is where it's going to pull the picture up. I liked them both. I'm using them, you know, both colors here. If you wanted to use just one, you could too. You can totally make this your own. Okay, so now we've got our photo. Our photo is going to pull out like this. Now we just need to seal this closed. Now you could use regular steel adhesive to attach this if you wanted to. I'm actually going to use sticky strip. I'm sorry. It's tear tape nowadays. We used to call it sticky strip. And I'm going to put it on the very, very edge so that there's, you know, I don't want my photo, I don't want to put it too far in or the pull-out will get stuck on it. We don't want that. So, boom. And the reason why tear tape, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is super strong. Okay. Boom. And so I'm just taking the protective backing off of the tear tape. Oh, that didn't seem to stick down very well, did it? Oh, woo, that piece doesn't want to stick. There we go. Okay. So you can kind of put this card in here to see. Yeah, we've got some space in there, so I'm not worried about the card hitting the adhesive. I mean, the pull-out hitting the adhesive. I want it to be able to easily go in and out. Got a little bit of adhesive off the edge there that I want to kind of get out. Okay. So now, what? There it is. Yep. So card goes out. Again, they can pull it all the way out. They can use the card for something else. I don't have a stopper on this one. I know some of you are going to go mental over the stopper, but it's okay. If you want a stopper, you can type in pull out cards on my stampwithtami.com blog, and I do have a video that shows you how to make a stopper for this. So if you don't want it to come out, you don't want someone to pull it all the way out, this is a very wide opening at the top. So my magic cards, sometimes I will make a stopper for them. I know people don't want them to come all the way out, but in this particular case, I kind of do want them to pull it all the way out and put it back in. And, you know, like, they may want to save the picture separately in the end after the holidays. I don't know, but that's me. You can do it. You can clearly add one if you like that, but the slider card is my favorite. I love that. I don't know. I just think it's so cool. So then I'm going to take the words that we heat embossed and attach them with, I'm going to take some mini dimensionals because it's really thin, and just put them on the back. I'm, again, puffing up. You don't have to puff if you don't want them puffy. Here in the crafting world, we have some controversial issues, like to use a stopper or to not use a stopper on a pull-up card. If only everything in life was just so, you know. There we go. All right, so our pull-up card, bada bing. So that is my first. And then I added on my original, before I move on to the other cards, I added on this one some of the sequins for this family. They're sparkly, they got sequins, and there. So first season, and for those of you who pop in late, let me just recap what we just did so you can go back and catch the replay for these. This was my first set of cards, and I feel like after you've watched these and you get the instructions for the rest of them, you'll be able to make all of the cards. And if there's anything that I feel like you might want to see, I'll link to a previous video that I did to help you with it, as I post instructions, as I roll out instructions for the rest of the series. So here's, are you ready for this? These are the first 3 of 24 holiday cards. They're all different. They're all different. I used all different themes. I mean, they're all holiday, but you can clearly change them up for other things. I'm going to zoom in a hair here. So this, I used snowflake vellum on this set. So this is the next set of 3 cards, snowflake vellum. And this one's a window card, but instead of a pull-up, this is actually a window, like a peekaboo window with the photo on the inside. See, that snowflake vellum is so fun, right? Okay, so then this one is just a traditional style card here. It's quick and easy. And I used, somebody mentioned using the circles. So yeah, I used the circles. I cut the photos out with the circles here. And this one, shaker card. How fun is that, right? Yeah, so these they're called effervescent elements. They're available in my online store. I use those for fun little shaker cards. So if you like interactive, that's a fun interactive one. So, I mean, obviously, if you don't want puffy, you can go with a flatter version. And if you like fun interactive cards, that's one. These are for the special people. You can never go wrong with a shaker card. So true. So true. Okay, so that is my next set. Okay, ready? So moving on, because there's a lot. And I hope that out of all of these, and I want to hear from you which ones you guys love the most. I want to hear your favorites, and I'm curious. So this one was the Merriest Moments bundle, and it's the I want to make sure I'm calling it's the folder, right? Merriest folder. It's a the Merriest folder. It's a hybrid folder that's a folder and a die cut. So here I just use the folder on the metal, so it looks like it's embossed metal, right? Stamped embossed metal on the gold foil there. And then this one's a traditional holiday card here. And then this one is, I embossed the inside. So you could leave that and write a greeting on it or the year on it or however you'd want to do that. And then this one, because I wanted to just add a little something to it as a Z-fold. So the Z-fold card can stand up, and apologies for the background, I'll put it down here so you guys can see on the lower card. So it stands up on its own. We've got a little Z-fold. You can stamp on the inside or write on the inside, write a greeting on the inside. So that's just a little special something. And I use some glimmer paper for the Merriest cut and folder on the background there. So it's shimmery and fun. Next set of 3. All right, these were all created with the shimmery metallic paper that's in the mini catalog from Stampin' Up! This season. And they're also the front, this is, see the shimmer? Love it. Love it. Okay, so this is my, actually, none of these are traditional. This entire set is special. I love these two, so I don't even know which one I want to show you first. Okay, so we've got the Z-fold. So there's a Z-fold that I stamped on the inside. Very classy, right? Very, very, very nice with the gold embossing on that one. And again, if you're tuning in late, I used for every single card here, these were all standard size wallet photos, 2.5 by 3.5. And I may have cut some of them down for some of the cards. So we've got a pop-up card. What? You know what I'm saying? Right? Pop-up card. How cool is that? Gonna stand up on its own. You've got your little, I mean, these are special. When you put these, when you send these to someone and they display their photo cards from the season and everybody's photos, these are gonna stand out because they are really special. They're handmade and they're awesome. I think they're awesome. So this one, we've got our little, it's a gatefold, but it's the opposite direction here. I'm sure there's a better name for that, but I'm just going to call it a fun fold here. And I use the Velcro to keep it closed again. And I use the basic borders on the edges there with the silver for the super classy look, and a little embossing on the inside. Okay, so that was my next set of 3. Okay. All right. Yep, again, I'm seeing you guys are starting to pick some favorites. I love it. I love it. Okay, so next set of 3. These were all made with the pearlescent. We have paper, specialty paper that's called pearlescent. It's very classy and it's shimmery. So let's start with this one. So this one I used it's the snowman dies. They had a snowflake frame. So I put the snowflake frame around it and I used the pearlescent. I don't know if you guys can see. The pearlescent may not translate on video because it's just shimmery and it's really pretty. And then classic on the inside. I embossed on the inside. We've got our little happy family. This was our happy family that we're saying got married on Martha's Vineyard. I'm just making up stories about their stock photos. We're making up stories about how each family got their family photos done. This one is a window card that I cut the window out with the stitched rectangle dies. And this one's super easy. So again, you don't have to go over the top to make a beautiful classy card that you know is going to stand out. Pearlescent paper here. I used very vanilla for the base and then just put pearlescent over the front. So it's like, it's got this pretty sheen to it, and then just cut out. Super easy, right? And that one's flat. And then this one, we've got our easel fold, and I embossed the pearlescent paper with the folder's called Merry Melody. So let me put that one down on the table so you can see it standing up. So we've got our easel folds. You know what? That's gonna look really special on the mantle when that one's put out. Of course, they're all gonna look special, right? They're all different. That one's in the way. There you go. All right, so that and a matching envelope. So I also put some pearlescent paper on the back of a vanilla envelope, and I embossed the flap there. So I just attached it to the flap and just cut out around it so it fit, and then embossed it so it will match your easel fold card, right? Okay. Oh, I'm glad you guys are loving these. I love getting photo cards, and I know everybody does photo cards every year, and I was like, oh, we need some really fun cards that are going to stand out on the mantle. So this next collection, the next series, or the next in the series, are slimline cards. So these are longer cards, different size, so you can write a lot on the inside. You can put your whole holiday newsletter on the inside if you want to. And I've got these. I used Santa Express for the background on there, and I used some of the Memories and More kit too, and just had a little fun with these. This is this family. They're totally into having bright fun colors, we're gonna say. And this one I used the folder. This is the folder that's part of that suite in the back on the side here. I kind of like that one. I'm not sure which one I like the best. I kind of like them all. And we sell envelopes, slimline envelopes too. So I added a little scrap of designer series paper on the back of that and just kind of cut it out so it matched, so that we have matchy for the envelopes on the slimline cards. Again, I'll be rolling out instructions for all of these over the next couple weeks at stampwithtami.com, so stay tuned for that. I'll have instructions for today's cards are already up there, and I have a correction to make, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so my next set of 3 cards, and this one is the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper that I used on here. And the first one I also incorporated, this is the window set. It's the Window Wishes stamp set and coordinating dies, and I put the photo inside the window. And I thought that was kind of cute. And you could also make it a window card so that it's a peekaboo, like some of the others I did on the inside. But this one, I actually stamped and embossed on the inside. Aw, thanks. Sherry says they look so professional. That's what we're going for, right? We want that. We want people to go, wow, like, you can't buy these. Like, these are handmade. So here I use some glimmer paper to border the photo. And then we've got the Boughs of Holly and an easel card. Fun on the easel cards. Again, it's going to stand up on its own. It's going to look really great on the mantle. And the last one in this set, again, I used some glimmer paper around the photo, right? It's a Z fold. This is a fold flat Z fold. So you could fold it flat and put it out. Let me put it down on the lower cam so you can see it. You can fold it flat and put it out, or you can put it out as a Z fold. And these elements, the wooden elements here, I colored with, I'm going to see if you guys can see this. I'm going to hold it up here. I colored them with Stampin' Blend markers, and I added some Wink of Stella. I don't think the Wink of Stella is going to translate in the video, but I added some Wink of Stella to the berries on them, just to give it a little special something. So that's my Boughs of Holly set of photo cards. And the last set, so we've gone through 21 photo cards already. So this is my last set of 3. And these were all made with the Christmas to Remember and Christmas pine cone dies. Okay, so these, another classy set here. I've got this one. I used the, it's not vintage, distressed. It's distressed. So distressed gold paper for the boughs, the pine boughs around the edges here. Just cut that with the die, and the picture sat right in the middle. And then we've got a little tag on the inside. And next up, we've got this one is, I put the pine cones and the die on the outside. This is just such a beautiful die. And this is another fold flat Z fold, so the photo's on the inside. And that, again, can stand up on its own like a fold flat, or it can stand up on its own when you want to do a Z fold. And I have some questions out here about timing. So that is a great question. No, they won't be at this time every week. Next week will be noon on Thursday, and then the next one will be our blog hop, which is Saturday morning at 10. And if you want to be notified, hit that subscribe button, because it'll notify you when I'm going live. I always schedule usually a day ahead of time, But I also, if you're on my Facebook page in the events section, I went in yesterday and added the rest of this month's videos right to the events section. So you'll know if you hit on the event that, hit that you're interested in going, Facebook will remind you that it's coming. Even though the video will be on my regular page, it's just a reminder that it's coming and what time it's coming. So my regular ones, they'll be between the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, depending. I guess I'm not on a regular rotation anymore, but because our scoops are going to be on Thursdays at noon, my regulars will be on Friday at noon, and blog hops are on Saturday at 10. Those are once a month. So yeah, so be sure to subscribe so you know when it's going to be. And this one, oh, this is one of my favorites here. I use shimmery white cardstock for this one and some copper. So we've got copper for around the border. And I embossed the words on the copper on the inside. Yes, exactly, Louise. Hit that little bell. If you're on my YouTube channel, hit that little bell under my channel, and it will notify you when I schedule the video. And that's usually at least a day ahead of time. But if you want even more notification on Facebook, there's an events on my Facebook page. And if you're not sure how to get to either one of them, Stamp with Tami. Facebook, Stamp with Tami. YouTube, Stamp with Tami. Or better yet, there's links in the video's description, right? On YouTube, there's links to both. On my blog, there's links to everything. So I really want to make it easy for you guys to find me, and I want to make it easy for you guys to be able to recreate this stuff, and I want to make it easy for you to have fun this holiday season. I want you guys to get started early. This is my tip for you. It's my tip to myself every year, and somehow it never works out for me. Every year I'm like, I'm going to start early this year. And I'm getting the ideas out there early, so hopefully I get my essay now. I'm like, this has got me thinking with all these families and their little, these are stock photos, but all the families on here, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with my own kids this year? How am I going to get them together so I can get a family photo? I hope you're thinking about that too, or your dog, or whatever you send out, because I don't know, maybe I'm sending Spencer cards this year. I think that would be cool. If you're popping in late, be sure to hit that rewind so you don't miss out on how to make these cards that I shared for my first set of cards. I'm glad you guys love these. I hope they've inspired you. I would love to see your version of these cards. Be sure on Saturday mornings on my Facebook page, I have a Share Your Craft Saturdays. I would love to see what you guys are up to. And if you guys start getting inspired and making some photo cards or other cards, I love to see them. Be sure to share them and post them there. And if you're not already a member of my VIP online club, check it out. It's a great way to get free stuff. It's a great way to budget your stuff. If you love everything you see here and you're like, oh my gosh, I want it all, then that's a great way to do it on a budget and get free stuff. And I do special drawings just with my VIP club every month and more. And this is the suite we use, Sweetest Christmas, Sweet. And for specials, speaking of, if you want it all, there's a great deal here on the demonstrator kit. It's till the end of October. And that is, you get to choose $155 of anything you want. And you only pay $99 and you get free shipping on the kit. And then you get a 20% discount after that. It's such a great deal. So if you want to learn more about that, you can. I'm going to end this because it looks like I got some trolls on YouTube. So I'm going to go get rid of them. And with that, I hope that you guys have, and I will look forward to seeing you back here next Thursday on the Stampin' Scoop Show. All right. Thanks for joining me.